Hello and welcome to episode 105 of the Movie Bros podcast, 105, whatever you want to call it. This is the weekly discussion, talk, debate, argument, banter, whatever, where two brothers pick a movie, watch that movie, talk about it, all that jazz. I'm Duncan, he's Hayden, just for reference. Hello, hello.
Hello.
And if you're new, well, there's because there's 105 episodes plus multiple extra episodes that you could be listening or watching at this point. So I feel like maybe don't start here, maybe start here. I mean, that's your own personal preference, but this podcast is available on Spotify. It's available on Instagram. It's available on YouTube. There's comments, there's direct messages, whatever. Reach out if you want. I don't give a fuck. So, Hayden, what are we watching and talking about this week?
It's always a good way to start out the episode to say that we don't give a fuck what our couple listeners say. All right, so
yes, correct.
This time we're going to be talking about a movie called Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. This came out in 2004, over 20 years ago. This is written and directed by Kerry Conran, and he would go on to make literally nothing else.
Literally nothing else. Well, I did find it interesting looking at his discography. The only other thing he's credited for is basically a shortened version of this movie.
Yes, so there originally this existed. We're going to get into this later. It's fine. This stars Gwyneth Paltrow, Jude Law, Angelina Jolie, and Giovanni Ribisi, featuring Michael Gambon, Bai Ling, and Omid Djalili. There's my other tab. Music here is by Edward Shearmur. I looked up what else he had done. A lot of eclectic stuff, a lot of TV movies, nothing big that really stood out. Cinematography here is by Eric Adkins, and it's kind of the same deal. Lots of variety of lesser-known things, nothing really worth mentioning. And the trivia I have for this is that this is one of the first movies to be shot entirely against a blue screen. There is almost no physical sets built except for a few special occasions like Polly's office, Totenkopf's room where they find him in the chair, a few other things, but for the vast majority of this, one of the first movies to have no sets whatsoever, and you can tell sometimes.
Sure. Granted, it's over 20 years old, and they already put a pretty heavy filter over everything.
Yes, I think it helps. And then, ironically enough, there were two other movies released pretty much the same year and then the year after that also were filmed entirely against blue screens. One of them is a French movie called Immortal, which I quickly looked up, and oh boy, does that look like a shitty music video from 2004. That is probably not worth finding. And then the other movie is the original Sin City, which is so much better. But mostly because
interesting.
That one is so high contrast, it's almost black and white the entire time. So you can get away with a lot more, fudging the visuals a bit more than I think you can do with this.
Yes.
But because this was filmed entirely on blue screen with 2 or 3 actual physical sets, this was complete. Principal photography was completed in under a month, which is insane. But also, if you don't have to build sets, you can probably get so much more done in such a quick amount of time.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so that's the information. That's the trivia. Duncan, let's start off with some initial ratings. What did you think?
So I would say this is both Hayden and I's not first time watching this, and I feel like
no,
I have gone through a yo-yo effect because I feel like when I was really young, I was like, this fucking rules. This is sick as fuck. And then there was a point where I was like, this is terrible. Like, really, truly not good. And I do think it's not good, but I would give it like a 2.5. Like, it is fun. And again, when you take into account like the era it is from, there are clearly some problems with it. So yeah, I'd call this like bad but fun. So 2.5.
I would say this is probably sitting around the same thing. I think I go for about a 3. I think that you can feel the cheapness a little bit.
Yes,
but
in some places.
I think that the workarounds they found, and like you mentioned earlier, the blur effect that is added to a lot of some of
Every
the
scene.
what
In every scene, basically.
it's there often, but I think it kind of helps sell the visuals a little bit. So I do remember our parents buying this a long time ago, and us watching it all a lot when we were younger. I probably haven't seen this in probably close to 20 years,
Yeah,
but
it's probably been at least 15 for me, I'm going to guess.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think the music goes a long way to helping this feel more bombastic and adventurous than it actually is,
Well,
because it's definitely just Edward Shearer doing his best Indiana Jones impression.
in so many ways, it felt like Captain America: The First Avenger before Captain America, like the
I was gonna
music
say
and
there's
the
a lot of
vibes, and I'm like,
similarities.
a lot of this stuff. I'm like, okay, so it's again, you have to walk before you can run, and that's okay.
Yeah, I
I
would say
was,
for its time and for its constraints, like it's fine, it's fun.
yeah.
It's not you're not gonna get much out of it other than some very cool like retro science fiction designs and some fun action bits, but that's okay.
What I was curious, like, if this didn't have that heavy filter, like this, if this was true color, I would be curious what it would actually look like if everything wasn't kind of smoky tan.
So I will send you some of the pictures of like the behind the scenes production stuff.
Or just, if you can, just put
It's
it on our
interesting
Instagram
looking.
story.
Yeah.
But yes, Dumbledore, like right off the bat, I'm like, "Oh, I kind of forgot Michael Gambon was in this at all."
Yeah. Well, I
Granted,
mean, he's barely in it.
he's barely in it.
Just like
Also,
I forget Giovanni Ribisi was in this.
Dex, yeah.
Yep.
There were times I was like, okay, was this meant to be a video game? Was this meant to be like a
The
comic
entire third
book?
act absolutely felt like I was watching a video game cutscene.
Yeah, there are several points where I was like, I feel like I've seen this before in an original Xbox game at some point.
Well, it would have been the era.
Or was it like, could this have been like, was this supposed to be like a radio show? Like, I don't
So
know.
this is inspired by a one of the Fleischer brothers' original Superman cartoons from the 30s, where a bunch of radio-controlled giant robots attack New York. And that was the original test footage that was rendered in CG that was shown to one of the producers before they greenlit the movie. So, kind of, yeah, in a way, it is based on a comic.
What I did find interesting towards the beginning is when she first meets the first scientist who dies at the theater. Because, yes, most of the movie has that filter on it, but then Gwyneth Paltrow's right here, the dude's right here, and in between them is the Wizard of Oz in basically full color behind them,
Yes.
talking about we're not in Kansas anymore. Kind of some pretty heavy handed foreshadowing, but no, I thought it was. Again, there are parts where I'm like, oh, there are nice touches in this movie where like I see that they're actually like there's thought behind these shots because I feel like you and I have talked about movies before where like the movie is
We
like,
have
oh,
talked
we are
about
just
movies before, you're right.
we are trying to get from point A to point B. It doesn't really matter how we like
Sure.
the shots and shit doesn't like it doesn't matter. So at least I appreciate there are parts of this where I'm like, okay, this felt actually planned, for lack of a better word.
Well, I mean, I would say most of the shots that don't have the people in it, which I know, which
Uh
is
huh.
possibly an unfair criticism, but I think the visuals in this work the best when they don't have that like soft edge glow blur effect added to people. Like when it's just the environment shots with the cool looking robots walking around, whether
Sure.
they're you know going through Dex's office and you got like the tentacle arm robots or you got the big, walker ones in the city or the planes that kind of look like birds. Those all look pretty good. They all look pretty neat. Cinematography wise, I think this is, again, for its time and for what it's trying to do, I think it works pretty well. I just, being one of the first to ever do this in 2004, the the actual live action plate photography integrated with the CG backgrounds don't always work very well.
Well, I think of because again, I think it's of the same era, of the same genre almost, but like of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out around the same time.
Yes, but they also made the effort of building a lot of physical sets.
That's the thing. I was like, but I think there was a lot more care put into the actual physicalness of it. So,
What do we think of Angelina Jolie here? Do you think she's needed? Do you think it matters?
well, let me answer that question with a question. Do we like Gwyneth Paltrow in this?
No, I don't.
God, she's
I
fucking
think
terrible,
I
dude.
think
Both
I
her acting, just as a character, I'm like, what are we supposed to? Who gives a fuck about this reporter who's like super needy, doesn't actually really do anything?
I would go as far as to say her character is a bad look for women.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it is
I
supposed to be
get that
set in a
maybe this is
different
supposed to be
time.
like accurate to the 40s, but like she does like she's portrayed as a dumb blonde who continually lies the entire movie,
Yes,
sabotages things,
yes,
bitches and complains,
yes.
doesn't really help with much of anything.
Not really. No,
It, it's a bad
she's just
look,
a lot.
man.
Well, that's why I'm like, honestly, anytime as soon as they met Angelina Jolie, who is like an actual like intelligent like leader woman archetype of like, oh, like she's got her shit together, and you can clearly see that like Gwyneth Paltrow kind of shrinks and stays
Oh yeah,
quiet
yeah,
because I'm like, oh, because this is what you probably feel like you are not supposed to be, but like this is what you could be, and you're clearly not this person.
yeah. It's just like Jude Law's character continually calls her stupid. Like throughout the entire like
Or just like shut
he
up
refers
Polly,
to
or
her.
like don't touch anything.
Oh yeah, like he can like point blank. I think he calls her dumb like 3 or 4 times when they're in the plane.
Yeah,
It's not
and
a
so
great look for them.
no. The
Honestly,
also
though,
okay.
I would like to see them try again now that we know what we're doing digitally. Now that
Yeah, I think
we
they could
wouldn't
do
have
it.
to do like a direct sequel. Like
No.
you could cast new people in this.
Yes.
We wouldn't have to bring Polly back, and I think I would prefer it. But like the continuing adventures of Sky Captain, now that we know how to make it look correct, I think would be a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, that makes me also think of it's almost a like Bond adjacent, where yeah, you could have
Kinda.
continuing adventures of Sky Captain, but it's his own kind of Americanized Bond.
I mean, it would be hard to sell that, I think, because people would immediately think, oh, okay, well, what is this based on? And then they would watch this, and they're like, you know what? Maybe we don't need another one.
Fair, fair. Because I also can't remember if this even did well at the box office or not, to be honest. So
You know what? That's a good question. Let me look.
also, I know it's a movie, but the plane he's in. So when I think they're supposed to be in what is at the time New York, and then they're gonna fly directly from there to Nepal. I'm like,
Oh, yeah,
dude,
they get there like a day.
there's no way that plane that's just not real. Like, what the fuck? The amount of mileage, and if they would need fuel, like obviously yes, it is a movie. It was a quick little cutscene, bing bang boom. Okay, they're there,
I did
but
like
still,
the effect where they do like the watery map. It's very
mm,
reminiscent of
mm-hmm.
the Indiana Jones thing, which
Yes.
is always kind of fun. So this had an estimated budget of 70 million with a total budget with a total gross return of only 57.
Okay, got it.
It also opened a month after Spider-Man 2.
Well, yeah, it's gonna get fucked. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to get destroyed.
The his buddy in Nepal, who is also in The
In The Mummy.
Mummy. I
Yep.
mean, he's been a side character in multiple projects, but when they get to the point where they are talking to the irradiated prisoner dude, when he like puts his hand on the shoulder, he's like, "Kill me." I'm like, dude, I remember as a kid, that whole
Oh yeah.
guy's freaky as fuck. Like so.
I remember that
Ugh.
being creepy.
Did you watch this on Pluto?
I did not. I shelled out the $3 and watched it on Prime because I didn't want to make yet another account on an app I would use maybe once or twice and then never again use it.
Okay. So what was interesting is when I watched this on Pluto, the ads that it showed were all ads for sci-fi basically like
Sure.
all sci-fi channel series that are no longer on sci-fi channel. So it'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, here's this 2004 movie, and then here, let's show you this 2004 Star Trek or something adjacent. So it was like, oh, at least the like quality is consistent throughout the ads, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing. Like, it wasn't like, oh, here's this new show. It was like, hey, here's this something from 20 years ago. I'm like, why are you like, maybe you're
Well,
thinking I'm going down a 2004 rabbit hole or something, but it was just an odd, like, okay.
might be.
I did like that when they're in the plane, when they're going over to meet Frankie,
Yeah.
they hid that it was Angelina Jolie because they kept using they.
Yes.
And I'm like, and that's where I'm like, okay, I can see if this was the first time watching this, yeah, you would kind of assume it was some dude he knew, and it just happens to be
Sure.
this like bombshell woman. Is she
Well,
absolutely just kind of copy pasting Nick Fury to a
I
certain
was about
degree?
to say, I kind of like that, like 20 years, or maybe not 20 years, 15 years before the MCU would, debut the helicarrier and
Yes,
Nick
all of
Fury and
that
all that. Like,
stuff.
they are literally doing it here first. Now, granted, I think it is inarguable that it's done better in the Avengers movie.
Sure.
But, again, you have like a decade and a half of advancement in every single area of film.
And again, there's some things I think were a little heavy-handed when she was alert the amphibious squadron, and it's just a bunch of like beautiful women running out to their planes. I'm like,
yeah,
okay, all right, okay.
I did actually remember. I actually own the soundtrack for this. I found it like real cheaply on eBay a while ago. So I do actually have that as a CD. So I listened to it this morning when I was making breakfast. It's pretty. I mean, it is impossible not to hear that it is someone doing their best John Williams impression. But if you're going to steal someone's style, that's not a bad one to go with. I think Captain America: The First Avenger also does that a lot, but that's okay.
And the ending thoughts?
It's more Polly being a ditz.
Oh man, she put the lens cap on. I'm like,
Oh,
like again, sure, okay, that's fine.
but what annoys me about that is that there's one shot where it's facing her and it shows her holding that camera. You can clearly see she doesn't have the lens cap on.
Yes.
And then when we switch, so we're seeing it from her view, so we're looking at Jude Law.
Yes.
When he says there's a lens cap, we just saw that there
but
wasn't.
It's interesting because basically there's not a single shot anywhere in the movie where she's using her camera that there's a lens cap. She doesn't have one. And then at the end they're like, oh no, it's gone. And also granted, I know she lost her bag full of film, but I'm like, having one roll of film, I feel like, again, if you were a like photojournalist, you would have something in your pocket.
I had that thought as well.
Something.
I had that thought of like, if she's like a dedicated reporter, and that's literally her entire character is, she's a dedicated reporter. She goes into these dangerous situations to get pictures. She would have another roll of film
somewhere. Yes. And
like
also
she's wearing this like overcoat. Like she would have a pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yes. If they made another one and they were going to recast, who would you recast?
I would recast Holly if we're bringing her back and writing her more sympathetically, perhaps. I would cast her with Micah Monroe, who is in things like Long Legs and It Follows. I think she has a very classic looking face. I think you could argue
M-I-K-A or M-I-C-A?
M-A-I-K-A. To me, I think she looks like she has a very classic Hollywood style face. I think you could absolutely, shoehorn her in there. I think she would work well. I think Sky Captain himself will be difficult to cast. I don't know, like, because you need a face, like, you need someone that someone's going to recognize, but he can't be, like, too famous,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I agree.
Sirens Outside.
Unknown. Part of me wonders is, would it be... Because, yes, I think... Okay, do you still keep it in the same era?
I think the only way this works is if you keep it in the same era. I think if you were to jog him forward into like the 60s and not the 40s, 50s, it doesn't work anymore. He has to, it inherently relies on nostalgia for like adventure reels from the 40s and 50s.
Sure, and I think it relies on the retro futurism of like, you get too close to present day and there's too much technology.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know who you would, put into the role of Giovanni Ribisi.
I
I
feel like
think
you could...
Miles Teller could be good in that. I think he could play a nerd fairly easily.
See, I feel like he's at the point where Miles Teller could be the lead, not
I
the
think he's a bit too
Dex.
old. I don't think I could see him as the
I think he's
lead.
too much of a leading man, though, to be Dex.
Fair. I. It's not a great reason. I don't think he's tall enough.
Tall enough. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Either
Well, is there
way,
anything else you want to bring up? Is there anything else you want to talk about? Would you recommend this to someone?
yeah, again, I would preface it like, hey, you're probably going to enjoy it. It's not a great movie, but you're good. Like, if this was like a popcorn night with your friends, or like watch it with a cocktail or something to lighten it
Sure.
a bit.
I think like an extension of that. I think if this would be a great thing to watch, like on like a themed night. Like if you were
Sure.
to go to,
Or I would watch this at a drive-in.
yeah,
Like, that would be fun.
I think this is a fun movie. Like it's worth watching at least the once, especially if you go in knowing it's kind of just a very silly adventure movie that you really don't have to think about at all.
Exactly. It is very straightforward. Well, from here we usually switch to, oh, and if you're curious, folks, I did watch it on Pluto. Hayden paid a couple bucks to watch it on Prime if you want to do that, if you're curious. But from here we usually switch over to things we've watched, things we want to watch, trailers, movie news, all that kind of jazz. So Hayden, is there anything you watched this week you want to talk about?
Well, I was over at the parents a couple days ago, and we rewatched No Way Home in the lead up to Brand New Day because they had forgotten much of that plot. It's still a lot of fun. Do I think it is an event and a gimmick movie? Maybe.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of...
Again, watching that opening night is
Sure. Yes.
was an experience and a half.
Yes.
It doesn't quite hold up when you watch it at home. It's still a lot of fun, but so much about what made that movie enjoyable originally was, the build up and the suspense and even though people highly suspected Peter or not Peter,
Peter 2 and Peter 3, yes.
Peter 2 and Peter 3 showing up, people didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's a way you can replicate that, but it was still fun.
What I've seen a lot of comparisons online, again, the movie's only been out for
I've been
like 4
dodging
days.
Spoilers like I'm fucking Neo in the Matrix, dude.
I know, again, I don't know beat for beat, but I know more than I probably should know, but that's okay. But what I've had been seeing is a lot of comparisons. Like, here's the first 3 Tom Hollands and how they made it, and here's how the new one looks. And the new one
looks like a real movie. Yes,
looks like a real, like the previous ones that they had so much, again, either CGI or not actually in camera. Like, yes. It just looks significantly better.
There was a thing they did that the director specifically wanted. So all of the first three Tom Hollands, they did do principal photography with him in a suit, and then they went through post production later and they added a bunch of CG elements onto his suit. And so he comes away looking like a video game character in all of his movies. It's very...
Yeah, it's a little too airbrushed or something like that.
Yeah. He looks a little too smooth.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's coming out. Okay, is there anything else
So I watched
you watched?
That, and then I went and paid money to watch Evil Dead Burn.
I heard not great.
It wasn't. I was trying to think of like a nice way to be like, you know what, it wasn't that bad. No, it was bad.
Okay.
Even compared to things like Rise, which we watched and did an episode on like a year and a half ago.
Which also, I mean...
But for the series, that one was way more in line with the vibes and like the kind of feeling that the rest of the series has. This one was like weirdly desaturated. It was like almost entirely gray, and then there was sometimes blood, and then it was very red. I didn't come away caring about any of these characters. Like I didn't care if they got possessed by the demon. They tried to change a lot of the lore.
Mixing it up.
Didn't care
sometimes
for
that works, sometimes that doesn't work.
Yeah, I didn't care for it, but I don't know. I think some of the actual kills and some of the gore scenes are still pretty good, but I would have preferred to have seen it at home now that I know that it wasn't good. So I did that, and then I rewatched Thunderbolts at home.
Which I've come around to. There's some parts that I still think...
I wish they'd gotten more Sentry. And
more Sentry, but also I feel
problems are really bad.
The team that they chose, I'm like, everyone kind of does the same thing.
Everyone punches, kicks, and shoots.
Yeah, which I'm like, okay, there's some nuance there, but...
The reason I chose to rewatch it is because while we were watching No Way Home, Dad's like made the comment of, oh, wow, this was the last good Marvel movie. I'm like, that can't be true. So I'm trying to think of what the other, post-endgame movie that I enjoyed, and it wasn't Captain America Brave New World.
Or Ant-Man.
It was not Captain America, or not Captain... It was not Captain Marvel and the Marvels.
Now I'm curious,
I did enjoy
Marvel
this. I think that...
after Endgame.
Yeah. I think a lot of the action scenes are pretty great. I think this is the first time where they got a little bit artsy with their cinematography. I think that Florence Pugh plays a very good, sympathetic character in...
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
In Yelena, I think she's obviously she's the main character, but like she's a highlight in this movie. Again, I think pacing-wise, it's not great. They spend like 2/3 of the movie trapped in that one bunker, and then they have to sprint to New York, and then they rush through all of the Sentry stuff in like 15 minutes, which they do get the Sentry stuff correct, but I feel like that should have been a lot more even. We should have gotten more of him.
Yes, agreed.
And it feels like the ending was a little rushed to try and introduce the new Avengers.
Looking at
said, I still think the movie's fairly enjoyable. It's not great, but it's not bad.
I have a list of all the movies that came out after Endgame and like
post-Endgame.
Sure, well, just No Way Home. Okay, Deadpool, Wolverine. It's fun, but again, rewatching it, I'm like, it is very serviceably a look at all the like old characters we actually could bring back now.
I would
Guardians
put it in the
3?
exact same category. That I would put Deadpool and Wolverine in the exact same category as No Way Home, as an event movie that doesn't have the charm of watching it in theaters.
And like, Far From Home, I thought was...
We even had an episode about it.
Yes. I think Far From Home, I think lots of it is not good, but also I think Jake Gyllenhaal, if they could somehow...
Jake Gyllenhaal's great in everything.
He was, I mean, yes, he is great in that. Like him as Mysterio, I think is great casting, and his suit looks fantastic. Guardians 3 was good, but it doesn't really have anything to... Like, you could have released that at any point. It doesn't really have anything to do with... If you're looking at this as the like broad storyline of the MCU. Same thing with Shang-Chi. It's kind of off in its own world.
I really love the first 2 acts of Shang-Chi. I think the third one, where he's fighting a giant CGI
Yeah,
dragon,
I don't like the third
is
one at all.
is a jump the shark moment and a half. And also, I can't stand Aquafina. I think she's not funny. I think she's not a good actress, and her voice drives me up a wall. So
I can
Shang-Chi
understand that.
is not something that I
I can
revisit all the
understand
time.
that.
On the other
Black
hand,
Panther 2, which
I didn't watch it because it didn't look very good.
it was, again, I think they had a tough road ahead of them. They're like, oh, there's just no Black Panther. What do we do? I would give it like a 7 out of 10. Like, it's not bad. I would say it's good, but not, like, I mean, it wouldn't be like, guys, you have to go watch this.
Just
The
based
Marvels was
on
bad.
like, yeah, Marvels was bad.
Eternals,
I okay, I have not watched it, but I've never seen any clip from it that makes you want to be like, you know what? I should give this a chance. It looks so gray. It looks so lifeless. It looks. I think one of the reviews I saw said you took Jack Kirby's super colorful world and you made it look like an Apple store. It just it
which
doesn't
I
it
have
doesn't
seen
look
it,
good.
and it feel because this is, I think, of an era where they really wanted directors to have their own fingerprint on the
Sure,
Marvel movies instead of them all kind of
maybe
feeling
you
like the
don't give a
same
Marvel
movie.
movie to Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, it was. I don't think. Yeah, it's very clearly her movie, is what I would say. Doctor Strange, Multitude of Madness.
I really wanted to love it.
Me too. I was like, it wasn't very good, but I wanted to love it.
My whole
The
issue with
the
Multiverse of Madness is that it doesn't feel like either of their two movies. It doesn't feel like it's properly a Doctor Strange movie, but at the same
not
time, it
really.
also doesn't feel like it's properly a Scarlet Witch story. It feels like it's trying to mash those two together without really telling the story of either one of them.
Yes, and the whole bit that literally the Illuminati, which is like top tier goaded
Sure.
superheroes, is over in like 10 seconds.
Yep.
Like, you get John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic for literally like 6 seconds before she's like, "You're just gonna untwine."
Yeah.
Black Bolt, you're just gonna explode your own head. Like, again, it was literally like, okay, well, that was it. Okay.
Sure. And I
Black
think
Widow.
that was like the first signs of problems of Marvel really starting to just throw shit at the wall to see what happens. Because
Well,
there
it
doesn't
felt
seem to be
more.
any planning whatsoever.
It felt more like they were trying to appease a lot of the fan casting and a lot of the things that people quote wanted to see, so they
Kind
could
of.
show it in the trailer, and then you realize, oh, the rest of the movie doesn't actually have a lot to it.
Yeah.
Black Widow was like a
Black Widow
6.
looked horrendous.
It was, again, was not a bad movie. It was not a good movie at all. Like, there was no stakes in this that I cared about. They kind of took like a cool villain in the Taskmaster was a cool villain
Oh, yeah. I've seen how they
and
treated
kind of ruined it.
Taskmaster. Yeah.
And granted, that Taskmaster then comes back in Thunderbolts and
Oh, yeah. She gets
immediately
killed off
dies.
literally within 5 minutes of Thunderbolts. Yes.
And then Ant-Man Quantumania, which is
The
just
less
sad.
we say about Quantumania, the better.
Or Thor Love and Thunder. So,
On a
yeah.
race to the bottom, it is hard to pick whether
Which one is
it's
worse?
Quantumania or Love and Thunder is like the worst Marvel movie, period.
Well, I feel like both of them have, okay, Quantumania, I think they had such potential in Jonathan Majors as Kang, because
Sure.
I actually thought he was great as Kang.
I,
The little bit you get him in like Loki and things like that, I thought he was excellent.
I think Loki season 1 or 2
Banger,
is
dude. Oh yeah, we're not talking about the shows,
amazing.
we're just talking about the movies.
Yes.
And then Thor, they literally get Christian Bale to be literally Gore the God Butcher.
And
I'm like, how
then
do you
they waste
fuck
it.
this up? Okay, sorry. So that was a whole side
Yeah.
tangent on Marvel stuff. But so Hayden watched Spider-Man. Hayden watched some Evil Dead. Okay, all right.
Yeah. So Duncan, what have you watched?
Jesus.
And then we started watching North by Northwest, the Alfred Hitchcock movie. Haven't returned to finish it. I think it might just be a little bit too old for me to find interesting.
Just too old.
I don't know.
I
know
think
it's
there is a point where like,
yeah.
do I really need to be watching something before like 1960 at this? I don't know. There's some movies where I'm like, yeah, I get their classics, but I'm like, I don't know. I think it's been too long. Like, there's a reason why we're not
sensibilities have just
rewatching.
changed too much.
We're not rewatching Charlie Chaplin movies for a reason, really, at this point. I know some like purists are like, oh, you got to watch this. Like when people on the red carpet do their like top 4 favorites
Those
for Letterboxd,
piss me
and
off so much.
Sometimes they're honest and they're like, oh, it's Shrek, it's something else. I'm like, hell yeah. And then sometimes they're like, oh, this obscure. I'm like, all right, dude, we get it.
Those piss me off because when they ask like some
favorite
director
movies
and they want to seem like I'm super artsy. Oh
yes.
yeah, my top 5 favorite films are,
Are you Stephen Merchant? What is this?
Citizen Kane and,
yes.
Alexandre Truffaut. Like,
yes.
No, they fucking aren't. When
and
you
I
get home after work, you're like, oh, I want to put on a movie. No one's going like, where's my silent film collection? No one does that.
Yes. The same thing when people sometimes go into like the Criterion closet and they're pulling out some random shit. And I think it makes sense for some people, but for the vast majority, I'm like, nah, you're full of shit, dude. This week, so I can't remember if I talked about this last week, where I requested a bunch of movies from the library and they all showed up, of course, at the same time. And I only have X amount of time to watch them. So I've been basically trying to watch one movie per day.
Sure.
So if you're listening, folks, and you're like, man, Duncan is sharing a bunch of movie reviews on his Dunk's Movie Corner Pod story, that's a lot of movies. Yeah, it is a lot of movies because I don't normally do this, but I have to watch them before they run out of time on my bank or on my account. So I started with Nuremberg. This is the 2025
the Russell Crowe one.
Russell Crowe. It's very good. You're not gonna feel good after watching it because it's literally just how shitty were
Nuremberg wasn't a fun watch.
How shitty were the Nazis and the men behind it that were like, no, we're going to we're going to go on trial and we're basically going to defend our choices of having concentration camps. And like a lot of the footage that they show in court is actual footage. I'm like, oh, this is rough.
Yeah. No.
But what's interesting is, so it's Russell Crowe and Rami Malek as his psychiatrist. Those are the kind of the leads. But in like a minor role, which I'm like, oh, he's popping up more and more, is that Leo Goodall. He was in Tuner. He's going to be in the new Hunt for Gollum movie. So I'm seeing him more and more, which I think it's a good thing because I like him as an actor. But that was that. Then I rewatched Blues Brothers because I have not seen that in forever, and I caught a little bit on.
Fucking rules.
It's so much fun. Like it is the perfect movie to go from Nuremberg to, because I'm like, oh yeah. This is the most light, funny musical movie.
It feels like a Muppet movie that stars all humans.
Also, it's something that I just have. Again, it's been a long time since I've seen it. Is the reliability of their car? The car basically does anything. Like drives through a building, flies off like it does all this crazy. I'm like, it's just a car. Like just the reliability of the Bluesmobile, as they call it, should be studied. Freaky Tales. This is from 2024. The director is not really known for anything major, but the cast in this is.
I'm gonna say,
just
strange. I saw when you shared like the title, like poster for this. I'm like,
yes,
what the fuck kind of Tubi original is this?
But it's got like Jay Ellis from New Girl, Pedro Pascal, Ben Mendelsohn, Tom Hanks. You'll see Marshawn Lynch. There's a ton of like just weird thing, and it's all set in Oakland, California, and it's set into 4 different chapters, 4 little mini stories that by the end they all kind of go together. I only picked it on my watch list because, and maybe I'll share it on our Instagram story, but there's a bit where Tom Hanks is the owner of a used movie store, like a video only kind of vibe.
Okay.
And he's talking to Pedro Pascal, and he's basically like, hey, I'm going to tell you exactly what movies you should be watching. And it's a great monologue. There's reasons why Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. And I was like, oh, I should watch this. And then after watching this, I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? There's a whole bit where Jay Ellis, the black guy, his family gets accidentally murdered in a like someone breaks into his house while he's a basketball player for the Warriors.
Okay.
Someone breaks in trying to steal his safe. His family happens to be there. They all get killed. So he comes home, grabs a like blade outfit with full of knives with a samurai sword, and then he goes out and just murders like 50 biker dudes that were part of the robber. And he's like super calm. Like I don't know. The movie was pretty out there.
This sounds like nothing fits together.
I mean, if you take individual chapters, I was like, oh, these are little fun story like vignettes. They're only like
Sure.
15 minutes, whatever. But as a whole, I'm like, what? How did you pitch this? How did you be like, hey, we want these like random people, like Marshawn Lynch as a bus driver, Tom Hanks as a Pedro Pascal as a retired hitman? It was strange. From there, I watched A Fistful of Dollars, which I had never seen before.
Hell yeah.
So interesting. So I did not realize that it's Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and then The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I didn't realize they're a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But you can basically watch any one of them by themselves, and you're perfectly fine. Because I've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Same main character.
Yes, so I've seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is significantly longer than all the it's almost 3 hours.
It is 3 hours long, yes.
And A Fistful of Dollars is only like 95 minutes or something like that. Yeah, it's fun. It's very much like, oh, I see why both the director and Clint Eastwood were like, oh, this is our lane. This is the spaghetti western. This is our bit that we're going to do for a while. I watched Warfare. Have you ever heard of this movie, Hayden?
That's is the Alex Garland where it's shot in real time.
Yes.
In Afghanistan.
No music. Rough. Damn.
Yeah, I'm like, you know what?
It was good.
I'm sure it'll be good. That looks like a stressful 2 hours. I might skip it.
Yeah, so...
Did that also have Joseph Quinn in it?
Again, the cast is super stacked with all the young male actors who are going to most likely go on to be like the leading men of Hollywood. Will Poulter, Kit Connor, James Gandolfini's son, Michael Gandolfini. Mm-hmm. Again, there's like 6 or 7 like, oh, I know this person. You will probably, and maybe I'll share this on our Instagram story, but you may have seen there's a bit where they're all in like their barracks or whatever, and they're all dancing to this. Yes. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So that's the opening scene, and then it basically cuts from that.
Everything fucking goes downhill.
Well, it's so they have that, and it's like, okay, this is fun, and then from there on, there's not a single note of music. It is just...
That is odd.
And nothing like it is because they are a lot of it. So until shit hits the fan, which doesn't happen immediately, because they're like a stealth Navy SEAL sniper team, it is super quiet. So you are literally just watching men like sneaking through the alleys of Iraq. It's very compelling to watch, but there's a reason why. Oh, the stories is based off whatever survivor's memory. And I'm like, oh, that means a lot of them did not survive. So there's that. And they show.
I think it was co-directed by one of the guys who survived.
Yes.
So having seen a few Alex Garland things, where would you place these? Or where would you place this compared to some of his other films? You know, granted, he's done a whole lot of weird stuff.
He has, and the thing. So I think I've only seen 3 or 4 of his movies. So what's different about this is there is not really a narrative to this. There's not really a story. This is just like, hey, we're just going to hang out with these dudes in this one house and see if they survive. And you don't really get to know the characters all that well because there's not a whole lot of talking, because if they talk, people are going to know where they're at, kind of thing.
So it's not like Black Hawk Down.
No, or like it's not like Civil War. It's not like Annihilation. It's not like Ex Machina. It is much more. Yeah, you're not. It is more like. It's almost like they weren't trying to make a story. They were trying to be like, hey, we want to make sure the public or whoever remembers that like these dudes existed.
Sure.
So I feel like maybe we weren't even trying to make money off. I don't even know if it did make money, to be honest, but.
I think oftentimes that's not A24's goal.
Yeah, maybe not. And that's everything I've seen. That's quite a bit sometimes. I would still like to go see The Odyssey. Most likely seeing Spidey soon. Yeah. What else?
I might be seeing Spidey with parents on Monday morning.
Yes.
You're welcome to join us. I assume.
That was the plan. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if there's anything.
Maybe we talk about that next week.
Yeah, maybe. If we talk about that next week, folks, that'll be Spider-Man Brand New Day in theaters now, or We might be talking about the girl with the dragon tattoo, which is
A vastly different vibe.
well, it was also vastly different to Sky Captain as well. So again,
Oh, yeah.
if at all possible, we try not to do like a bunch of the same kind of movies in a row. Yes, sometimes it might be The Sandlot, it might be SpongeBob, that kind of thing happens, sure, but we try to kind of jump around. I'm looking at our Instagram, and I don't think there's anything. Let's
I mean,
see, that was shared.
newsworthy? I don't think there is. Like, let me check. Did I save anything I wanted to talk about?
Violent Night 2, which I don't overly care about. The
I
first one
think
was fun, but I'm like, it's fine.
I think our parents really enjoyed the first one, so I
It
will
was
most
fun.
likely be
I don't
able
know
to
if it was
get
good.
I will most likely be able to get free tickets out of them to go see the second one. Not
I'm
something I would
still
pay for
interested
myself.
in. I think Primetime is going to be good with
I think
Pattinson.
Primetime is going to be good. I think Primetime will be similar to Warfare in that it is going to be fucking uncomfortable as hell, and that will be a rough watch.
Yeah. Let's see. Looking at.
Let's see.
I think that's it.
I mean, it's not like an upcoming movie, but it is insane that Brand New Day in its opening
Mm-hmm.
week has grossed $1 billion. That's fucking nuts.
It is nuts, but I think with is that just so when it's like biggest opening weekend ever, but is that adjusted for inflation? Because I
I
think of the
don't know.
price. Because I think of the price of movie tickets now. I'm like, yeah, no shit, it's going to hit that because it's $30 a ticket, dude. Because I feel like movie theaters are definitely selling out for Return of the King or something like that. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Either way,
We might see each other this weekend for um,
Spidey.
Spidey. So this has been Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Again, if you want to watch this for free with ads, you can find that on Pluto TV. Or if you want to shell out $4, you can watch it on Amazon. If you want something that's fun and a little mindless and are willing to accept some dated graphics, this is not a bad choice. Catch us next week for either something in spandex or something in leather. And we will see you guys next episode.